Commander James Carter returned to headquarters with the data chip from HFY. The chip held secret files revealing the identity of the traitors inside the government, people working with the Zealots to bring chaos and gain power. James gathered his team, the Watchers, in the secure room. "This is worse than we thought," he said. "The traitors are planning a full attack on one of our human colonies. It's all part of the Zealots setup." Lieutenant Sarah Blake looked at the screen. "The colony they want to attack is Nova Prime, a mining world on the edge of our space. It's poorly defended but very important to us." James nodded. "If they succeed, it will destroy our resources and morale. We have to act fast." The team prepared a plan. They would send a small strike force to Nova Prime to protect it and catch the traitors red-handed. Meanwhile, far away on Nova Prime, life went on as usual. Miners worked underground, unaware of the danger coming their way. The colony was peaceful, for now. Back on Earth, James and his team watched the Zylox ships move closer to Nova Prime. But something was strange. The Zylox ships were not attacking immediately. Instead, they sent messages pretending to want peace. James frowned. "They want us to relax, to think this is still a peace mission." Suddenly, the lights on the control panel flashed red. "Alert! Zylox ships are launching a surprise attack on Nova Prime." The strike force quickly boarded their ships and raced to the colony. James was with them. The journey was tense and silent. When they reached Nova Prime, they found the colony under heavy fire. Buildings burned, explosions rocked the surface, and people were running for safety. James shouted orders. "Defend the base. Protect the civilians. Find the traitors." The fight was brutal. Zylox soldiers were strong and well-trained, but the humans fought harder. They had no choice. During the battle, James found evidence that the attack was not just from outside. Some human soldiers were helping the Zealots. They sabotaged defenses and gave enemy positions away. James captured one traitor, a soldier named Mark Benson. Mark looked scared but proud. "You don't understand," Mark said. "The peace deal was a chance for a new order. We are saving humanity from itself." James shook his head. "You are destroying it." As the battle raged on, more surprises came. A secret human faction working with the Zealots appeared on the battlefield. They wore black uniforms and carried advanced weapons. James realized this was the group Agent Mira warned him about, the true enemy inside. The traitors had a plan to cause so much chaos that humanity would be forced to accept Zylox control. It was a trap, and humanity had walked right into it. But James was not ready to give up. He ordered his team to isolate the traitors and protect the colony. The fight lasted hours, but finally, the Zylox and traitor forces retreated. Nova Prime was safe, for now. Back at headquarters, James reported to the president. "The setup is real. The peace deal was a lie. We must find and stop the secret faction before they destroy us all." The president nodded gravely. "We will do everything we can. Humanity must survive." James looked out the window at the stars. The war was just beginning. The world was shaken. Everyone knew the peace deal with the Zylox was a lie. The message on the city screens, the hidden base in the asteroid belt, it all proved one thing. The Zylox wanted war and humanity was not ready. Commander James Carter sat in a dark room inside the military headquarters. Around him, his team, the Watchers, worked quickly to understand what was happening. Their mission was clear. Find out who was helping the Zylox and stop them. Lieutenant Sarah Blake looked worried. "Sir, the secret message we intercepted. It wasn't sent by the Zylox alone. Someone inside our own government helped send it." James frowned. "What? Who would do that?" Sarah shook her head. "We don't know yet, but the message was encoded using human technology. Someone with high clearance." James stood up. "We must find this traitor before it's too late." Meanwhile, the public was scared. Cities increased security. People stopped trusting their leaders. Rumors spread that more than just the Zylox were involved in the betrayal. In a small, secret office deep inside the Capitol, a shadowy figure smiled. He was a man few people knew, a powerful government official named Victor Crane. He believed the peace deal was a chance to change the future of humanity, but in his own way. Victor watched the news, enjoying the chaos. His plan was working perfectly. Back at headquarters, James' team hacked into government networks. They searched emails, secret files, anything that could point to the traitor. Suddenly, Sarah's screen flashed. "Sir, I found something. Look at this." She showed a file labeled Operation Eclipse. It was a secret project involving human and Xylox cooperation, far beyond what anyone knew. James read the documents. It said some humans had agreed to work with the Xylox to create a new order, a future controlled by them both. The peace deal was just the first step. "This is bigger than we thought," James said. "We're dealing with traitors inside and enemies outside." Sarah looked troubled. If this is true, then the peace deal was never real. It was a plan to trick everyone. James nodded. "We need to tell the president." The president listened carefully. "This is a nightmare," he said. "We must stop this before it destroys us." But the problem was bigger than anyone imagined. A team of soldiers guarding a secret military base was attacked from the inside. The attackers knew every move the soldiers planned. James knew it was the traitors' work. "Someone is sabotaging us," he said. "We must find them." At the same time, Sarah worked on decoding more Xylox transmissions. She discovered strange patterns, hidden codes inside peaceful messages. "Look at this," she said. "The Xylox are sending orders to their spies on Earth. They are everywhere." James felt the weight of the danger. "We are surrounded by shadows." That night, James walked alone on the rooftop of the headquarters. The city lights flickered below, but his mind was dark with worry. Who can we trust? He asked himself. Suddenly, his communicator beeped. It was a message from an unknown source. "Meet me at the old space station. I have information you need. Come alone." James hesitated. It could be a trap, but he knew he had no choice. The next day, James flew to the old space station orbiting Earth. The station was abandoned years ago, now a forgotten place in the stars. Inside, a mysterious figure waited. It was a woman wearing a cloak, her face hidden by shadows. "I am Agent Mira," she said quietly. "I was part of the secret plan, but I want out." The peace deal was a lie. It was designed to control both humans and Xylox. James asked, "Why are you helping us now?" Mira looked sad. "Because the real enemies are stronger than you think. The traitors want a war that will destroy us all. We must stop them." She handed James a data chip. "This has proof of the human traitors and their plans. But be careful. They are watching." James took the chip and nodded. "Thank you, Mira. We will stop this." As James left the station, he knew the fight was far from over. The shadows behind the peace deal were deep and dangerous. But now he had a new hope. A chance to find the truth and save humanity. The year was 2147. Humanity had fought many wars, lost many lives, and almost gave up hope. But now something new was happening. A chance for peace. For the first time in history, humans were about to make a peace deal with aliens. The aliens were called the Xylox, a powerful race from a distant galaxy. The peace deal was not just any agreement. It was a treaty that could end all wars between humans and Xylox forever. People everywhere were excited. The news channels talked about it day and night. Governments promised a new era of friendship and cooperation. The world seemed to be moving toward hope. On Earth, in the capital city of New York, the peace deal ceremony was about to begin. Leaders from both sides gathered in a large hall. The humans wore their best uniforms. The Xylox stood tall, with their shiny silver armor and glowing blue eyes. Everyone was watching, waiting for history to be made. Commander James Carter, a man known for his courage and sharp mind, stood near the stage. He looked calm but worried inside. He had fought many battles against the Xylox before. He had seen how ruthless they could be. Now they wanted peace, It felt strange. As the human president spoke about hope and unity, James' mind wandered. Why are the Zylok so eager to make peace now? He thought, is this really what it seems? After the ceremony, James met with his team in a secure room. They were scientists, soldiers, and spies, people who kept an eye on everything. They called themselves the Watchers. Their job was to protect humanity, even if it meant going against their own leaders. "Sir," said Lieutenant Sarah Blake, a smart and brave officer, "we have intercepted some strange signals. They look like secret messages from the Zyloks." James took the data and looked closely. The messages were encrypted, but his team worked fast. Slowly, the words became clear. "The peace deal is a setup. Prepare for Phase 2. The room fell silent. Everyone stared at James. "This changes everything," James said. "We must warn the president and the world." But before they could act, the lights in the building went out. Alarms started ringing. Something was wrong. James quickly grabbed his radio. "All units, this is an emergency. Secure the building and protect the president." Outside, people screamed and ran in every direction. The city's power was failing. No one knew why. Suddenly, the large screens in the city center showed a message in the Zyloks language, then translated into human speech. "You trusted us. You were wrong. The peace was a trap. Prepare for war." Chaos broke out. Soldiers rushed to their posts. Civilians hid or tried to escape. James knew this was the beginning of a new battle, one much more dangerous than before. Later, in a hidden room, James talked to the president on a secure line. "Mr. President, the peace deal was a setup. We have proof." The president was shocked. "What do you mean? Why would the Zyloks do this now?" James answered, "I don't know yet, but we must be ready. They want us to fight when we are weak." The president sighed. "Then we must unite and prepare. Humanity depends on it." Meanwhile, Sarah was working with the hackers to find more about the secret message. They found a strange code hidden deep inside the Zylok signals. It pointed to a place near the asteroid belt far from Earth. James and his team decided to investigate. They boarded a small ship called the Sentinel and headed to the asteroid belt. The journey was tense. Everyone knew that the peace was a lie, but no one knew what they would find. When the Sentinel reached the coordinates, they found a hidden Zyloks base inside a giant asteroid. It was full of weapons, ships, and soldiers preparing for war. James and his team took pictures and collected data. They saw Zyloks leaders talking about the next steps. It was clear the Zyloks planned to attack Earth soon. On the way back, James looked at the stars and thought, humanity played along with the peace deal. But now, we must fight smarter than ever. As the Sentinel returned to Earth, the world was ready to hear the truth. The peace was broken. The real war was about to begin. Earth was on high alert. After the rescue of Dr. Karen Lee and the destruction of the Zyloks communication base, the secret faction had gone quiet. Too quiet. Commander James Carter stood in front of a large screen in military command. Dr. Lee's weapon, called Project Dawnfire, was almost ready. It wasn't a bomb or a killer robot. It was an energy shield that could protect Earth's orbit from Zyloks invasion. "This will give us time," Dr. Lee explained. "But we only get one shot. Once the shield activates, it'll need 24 hours to recharge." James nodded. "Then we need to use those 24 hours wisely." As the team prepared, reports came in. Zyloks warships were massing near Jupiter. It was the biggest fleet humanity had ever seen. General Elena Morris looked serious. "They're coming for Earth. This is the final strike." James addressed his team, Sarah, Mira, Jason, and the rest of the Watchers. "We've been through everything together. Betrayals, ambushes, near death. But now, we fight not just to win, but to survive." The team launched into orbit, guarding the Dawnfire installation while Earth braced for attack. As expected, the Zyloks came fast. Dozens of sleek, black warships broke through the outer defenses. But this time, Earth was ready. Fighter jets, orbital turrets, and even space mines lit up the black sky. Explosions shook the edge of space. It was war like never before. James's ship dodged fire, leading the defense fleet. Hold the line. Protect the shield until it's at full power. Meanwhile, on Earth, the secret faction made their final move. They activated sleeper agents in power stations and defense bunkers, trying to shut down Earth's support systems from within. But Sarah had expected this. She had created a fake network that led the traitors into a trap. When they tried to take control, the Watchers triggered counter-hacks, locking them out and exposing every double agent. Got them, Sarah said with a smile. They're done. Back in space, Mira was working fast inside Dawnfire control, charging at 72%. We just need 10 more minutes. But a Zillock ship broke through the defenses and dove straight toward the station. Jason yelled, "We won't make it in time." James made a split-second decision. "I'll stop that ship. Cover me." He flew straight at the enemy cruiser, dodging lasers and missiles. As the ship prepared to fire on the Dawnfire station, James launched every remaining weapon he had. A huge explosion lit up the sky. The Zillock ship was gone. So was James. Inside the control room, everyone stood silent. Dawnfire ready, Mira whispered. Activating now. A blue light spread across the orbit, covering Earth in a powerful energy dome. The Zylock's weapons stopped working inside the shield. Their fleet, confused and uncoordinated without their command center or traitor intel, began to retreat. Earth had survived. The people cheered. The cities lit up. Humanity had taken the hardest hit, and still stood strong. Back at headquarters, Sarah looked out the window, tears in her eyes. "He saved us all," she said softly. But then, a message blinked on her console. Encrypted. From JC. "I'm alive. Ejected before impact. Pick me up." Sarah laughed through her tears. That crazy man, he did it again. A rescue team brought James back. Bruised, burned, but alive. General Morris met him with a salute. "You did it, Carter. You gave us peace." James looked tired, but proud. "No, we'd earned it. Together." Later, Earth made a broadcast, not just to humans, but to the Zylocks as well. This time, James said on every screen, "We make peace on our terms. With honesty. With strength. Not fear." And the Zylocks, they listened. Maybe for the first time. The Vigilant drifted in space, its damaged engines barely holding together. Commander James Carter and his team waited anxiously for rescue. They had succeeded in destroying the Zylocks communication network, but their escape had left them vulnerable. Inside the ship, the atmosphere was tense but hopeful. "We did what no one else dared," Sarah said, trying to keep spirits high. "We slowed them down." Mira nodded. "But the secret faction won't give up. They will strike back, and harder." James agreed. "We must prepare for their next move." Back on Earth, the government was in chaos. The secret faction had lost their advantage, but they were desperate. They began targeting key military leaders and scientists, hoping to weaken humanity's defense. General Elena Morris received a warning. "Sir, several of our bases have been attacked by unknown forces. It looks like sabotage from within." James clenched his fists. "The traitors are fighting a hidden war inside our ranks." The Watchers worked around the clock to protect the leaders and find the attackers. One night, James received a secret message from Agent Mira. "They have kidnapped one of our top scientists, Dr. Karen Lee," the message read. "She holds the key to a new weapon that could change the war's outcome." James knew they had to act fast. If the secret faction used that weapon, humanity could lose everything. He gathered his team. "We're launching a rescue mission. No one else can find Dr. Lee." Sarah loaded weapons and gear. "We'll bring her back, sir." The mission took them to a remote, abandoned space station where the faction held their prisoners. As they landed, James felt the weight of the mission. The enemy was prepared. Inside the dark corridors, the team moved carefully. Suddenly, alarms blared. They were discovered. Xylox soldiers and human traders attacked from all sides. The team fought bravely, pushing forward through the enemy lines. James led the way, determined to find Dr. Lee. Finally, they reached a secure cell where Dr. Lee was held. She looked tired but strong. "Thank you for coming," she said quietly. "The weapon they want to build can destroy entire planets." James helped her up. "We won't let that happen." As they escaped, the enemy closed in. The team fought their way back to the ship, barely making it out. Back on Earth, Dr. Lee shared her knowledge with the scientists. Her research could give humanity a new weapon, one to defend against the Xylox invasion. But James knew the real battle was still ahead. The secret faction and Xylox were growing stronger. The peace deal was long gone, replaced by a war for survival. As James looked to the stars, he made a promise. "We will fight for humanity, no matter the cost." After the fierce battle at Nova Prime, Commander James Carter knew one thing clearly. The enemy was not only outside in the Xylox forces, but also inside humanity itself. The secret faction had deep roots, and their betrayal ran wide. Back on Earth, the tension was high. The government increased security everywhere, but James and his team, the Watchers, had a harder job. They needed to find the traitors who were helping the Xylox and stop them before they caused more damage. Lieutenant Sarah Blake sat at her desk, scrolling through intercepted communications. Her eyes narrowed. "Sir, I found something disturbing. A trusted officer, Captain Derek Morgan, has been sending encrypted messages to unknown contacts." James frowned. "Morgan? He's been with the military for years and has an excellent record. Are you sure?" Sarah nodded. "Yes, sir. The messages are hidden inside normal transmissions, but they reveal locations and military plans." James felt a cold rush down his spine. "We must confront him. If he's a traitor, it will shake the whole military's trust." That evening, James and a small team went to Captain Morgan's quarters. Morgan greeted them calmly, but with a slight nervousness. "Captain Morgan," James said, "we have reason to believe you are communicating with enemy forces. You need to come with us." Morgan smiled bitterly. "You think I betrayed humanity? You don't understand what's at stake." James was firm. "Explain yourself, or you will be arrested." Morgan looked down, then spoke quietly. "I believe the peace deal was a chance to save humanity. Some of us joined the secret faction to avoid endless wars. We thought working with the Xylox would bring order." James shook his head. "By betraying your own people, that's not saving anyone. That's destroying trust and hope." Morgan's face hardened. "You don't see the bigger picture, Commander. The government is corrupt, and the old ways will only bring more death." James stepped back. "You chose your path. We will stop you." Morgan was arrested and taken away, but the damage was done. His betrayal made many question the loyalty of their own friends and leaders. Meanwhile, Sarah found another shocking discovery. The traitors had sabotaged a key military base, disabling weapons and communications from inside. James ordered an immediate investigation. The base was in chaos. Soldiers were confused, and some equipment was destroyed. "This is an inside job," James said. "We must root out every traitor." The Watchers worked day and night, checking every file, every message, every person with access to the base. One night, as James reviewed the reports, his communicator beeped urgently. "Commander, we have a new threat," Sarah said. "A high-ranking officer in another base has gone missing. We think he might have been taken or turned." James clenched his fists. This war is not just between humans and Xylox anymore. It's within us. The pressure was heavy, but James was determined. He knew that to save humanity, they needed to find the traitors and bring them to justice, no matter who they were. As the night deepened, James looked out at the city. The stars above were cold and distant. The war was closer than ever, and the real battle was only beginning.